Welcome back to Kaulignation, your one-stop shop for all things Kaulig Racing, Dingernation, SVGNation, and more. I'm Sean, he's Ryan, and it is Chicago this weekend. That's right, the what might be, maybe not ever, but at least for the foreseeable future, the last race in Chicago. I'd be stunned to see this thing on the schedule next year with them scheduled to go to San Diego. I can't see them doing two street races in one series. Our multiple choice question for this video is: do you think SVG has a realistic shot at doing the doubleheader this weekend and winning both races? He's going to have some competition on the Cup side for sure. I'm really excited to see him battle it out with Connor Zilish, who I think they're going to be a runaway 1-2 in the Xfinity race. But let us know down in the comment section down below. Don't forget to check out our channel sponsor, Lynn, over at SVG Nation on Facebook and our other Facebook channels that are in the description below. Ryan, Chicago's this weekend, man, and we're not weathermen or weather people, but guess what? Saturday looks dry. Sunday, not so much. Um, so it's not doom and gloom yet for Sunday. It's not like it's 95%, but last I checked, it was sitting at 55% and basically supposed to rain between 12 and 6. So it sounds like it could be messy. My brief Xfinity thoughts are this. So we'll go back and forth on Xfinity and then touch on Cup. SVG in a junior motorsports car having that kind of power in Xfinity for the first time. And Connor Zilish and what he's done in Xfinity, I think this is going to be a two-horse race. I think SVG is going to take him because of the street course experience. But I am curious how close that gap's going to be. And watching those two paint schemes that we've covered here on the channel for the last week or two battle it for that win is going to be exciting.
Yeah, let's put it this way. The fact that Daniel Suarez was able to drive from the back to the front and win at Mexico City in that car, and this is zero disrespect to Daniel Suarez because he's a very talented road racer, really sets the bar high for what SVG is going to do in that car. I mean, because the gap in talent between Suarez and SVG when it comes to road racing is significant. So knowing that and how good SVG was in Kaulig equipment last year, winning this race over Kyle Larson, I have no doubt that he is going to put on a hell of a show. And unless there's a mechanical failure or gets caught up in somebody else's mess, there's no reason he shouldn't walk the field here. And that's with Connor Zilish, who I know can be dominating. We've seen it when he did it at Watkins Glen. It's going to be a fun race, no doubt. It will be a two-horse race. Do you know who's in the 17 car this weekend? Is it Larson?
I'm not. No, you know what? I don't know who it is. I thought that SVG was the only one doing the doubleheader this weekend.
Yeah, I think Ty Gibbs is doing it in the 54 as well. So there's going to be some good cars in the race for sure, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's going to be a pretty dominating, I think, race for SVG. I hope it's not. I hope it's competitive, but my expectation is he's probably going to lead flag to flag and not have much of a challenge. So, but I do think the Kaulig cars have a good opportunity to have a strong run. Especially if there are fewer Cup cars in the field this weekend. You know, we've seen back-to-back top fives for Christian Eckes, and I have no question that they're going to be able to bring another good car to the track this weekend. Obviously, they have the setups from both AJ and SVG from last season. So I'm also excited to see how they perform. I have high hopes that they'll be not competing for the win, but for sure competing for top five. So I really think this weekend can be a good weekend for all of our drivers here.
Yeah, I think Eckes has a good shot at a top 10 this weekend, maybe a top 5. I'll give Kyle Larson some love, though. That was a 3-horse race early in that race. SVG was definitely the leader out front, but that was SVG, Larson, and AJ. And then AJ obviously was pushing his car past the limits and got some damage there that really derailed the rest of his race. I think he finished 11th or 10th or something like that in the race. But Larson was pretty close to SVG up until that last restart where SVG seemed to navigate traffic 1,000 times better than Kyle Larson did and really put on a class of his own. Let's move to Cup here, though. The Cup Series race We'll come back to SVG at the end briefly. Let's focus in on Kaulig Racing. Will Brown makes his debut, V8 Supercar 2024 champion with Kaulig Racing, driving the number 13 Chevrolet this weekend. We just released an interview with Mike Cook where he touched on Will Brown, and I've heard Will Brown talk a couple of times in the last week. He had a little bit of shade to throw at SVG, which I found fun. Those two guys are friends, and it was more like some fun love. But it was like, hey, don't sleep on the other V8 Supercar guys. It's not like SVG is the only one doing right foot braking. We're all doing right foot braking over there, and we're all damn good at it. So he was actually hoping for rain too. By the way, he wants it to rain on Sunday, and he was very confident about what he thinks the team's going to be able to do. But as for AJ, I don't know what to expect from him this weekend, man. He practiced and qualified terribly last year. He was so-so the year before. But last year, and mind you, the race was in the rain, so AJ does have an advantage over most of the field in regards to that. He drove his way from the back all the way up to 6th place before he finally wrecked out. He obviously, kind of what happened in the Xfinity race, overpushed the car and kind of slid into the barricade there, and that was it. But he had much faster race pace than I ever thought he was going to have last year, given how the beginning of the weekend went. So I don't know what to expect from him. Ty Dillon, another guy who impressed me at Mexico and was raced with a whole lot of disrespect from the rest of the field. I think if it goes wet, he's going to have a leg up, as Mike Cook pointed out to us, on some of the other guys in that field. He's apparently quite good in the rain, and he's shown that a bit. If just focusing on the Kaulig guys right now, man, I'm going to say Will Brown and AJ top 10s, as long as there's no equipment issues. And if Ty can compete in the top 20, I think that'd be a solid weekend.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. That's my expectation as well. I don't understand why AJ's struggled as much as he has at Chicago. Obviously, it's a street course. It's a little bit different than what we're accustomed to in NASCAR with the standard road courses, but it's still his bread and butter. But you're right, he just hasn't quite wrapped his hands and feet around this place. So I'm hoping going into year 3, obviously they brought a third car last year. He was in the 13, which, was competitive enough. He ran really well at COTA in that car. But it's still the third car. I think that's going to be Will Brown's biggest issue too, bringing a third car, and you just don't know what you're going to get out of that. But they will have SVG set up from the 16, and he was the best car in the 16. So I have hopes that they have what they need to put good cars under both Will Brown and AJ and to see what they can do with it. But I don't have a lot of confidence, and maybe that's what we need going into a weekend where I don't think he's got a chance to win, and maybe there's a little less pressure because of that, and maybe that flips the script a little bit, and we get a good weekend. But again, this is the Cup Series. All these guys are really good. William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson. The list goes on, right? I really have high hopes. I think we have an opportunity to win. Obviously, this is one of our best chances. But I really just want to see if they can have a really strong day, top 10. And honestly, this is the side plot. I really hope he can win his matchup against Ty Gibbs and advance into the NASCAR bracket going into next week's Sonoma. That's kind of my goal for this week, and we'll see where that takes us.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome for him and Ty, right? So a lot of people forget about the SVG setup, right? They have that to use. By the way, I'll just get my prediction out there now quickly so we can finish up. I think SVG's pulling off the doubleheader this weekend. I truly do. What about you?
I don't think he will. I think there's just too many things that have to go perfect to win both races. He certainly has the best odds of doing it, but I do think it's going to be a little bit tricky. I don't think he'll win on Sunday. He should win on Saturday, though.
The thing I like about them having SVG set up from last year is, AJ might not adjust great to it because, this is right foot braking. Will Brown should adjust just fine to it. So we'll see what happens. Chicago this weekend. Let us know your thoughts below, and we'll see you in the next video.